Good afternoon, and Arsenal are at the seaside for Brighton and Hove Albion versus Arsenal at the Amex Stadium. A huge match today for the Gunners. They need to win this to put themselves back on top of the table, with Liverpool making a trip to Old Trafford tomorrow. We do have Mike Harneman in the studio with us. Mike, huge game for Arsenal today.
Yes, afternoon, Paul, afternoon, everyone. And at this stage of the season, every game is crucial, and even more so, with Liverpool making that trip to Old Trafford tomorrow and Manchester City winning earlier as well. So, we've just got to keep doing what we have been doing in recent weeks and, getting the all-important 3 points again.
Do you see Arsenal picking up the victory today? I mean, it's a tough place to go with Brighton. It's never easy. Do you see Arsenal picking up the win today?
I'd like to think so, considering how we played in recent weeks and the last couple of results as well. I'd like to think so. As you say, Brighton's a difficult place to go to. They've been playing quite well and doing all right at home lately as well. But I'm still full of confidence that we can go there and get the job done and bring back the 3 points to North London. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, just before we let you go, Mike, and speak to you at half time, can you give me a prediction for today?
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky game, and I do think Brighton, will probably do what a lot of teams haven't done in recent weeks, and that's score past David Raya. So I'm going to go with a narrow 2-1 victory for Arsenal.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. I do appreciate your time. Okay, well, let's start by taking a look at the starting lineups as usual. We're going to begin with Brighton and Hove Albion, who are managed by Roberto De Zerbi. They have Bart Verbruggen in goal, Tariq Lamptey, Jean-Paul Van Hecke, and Lewis Dunk, the captain, and Pervis Estupinan make up the back four. The two holding midfielders are Carlos Baleba, Jakub Moder, Julio Enciso, Pascal Gross, and Simon Andingra are behind the front man Danny Welbeck. For Arsenal today, well, they've made 4 changes. That's the most they've made in quite some time. Jorginho, Declan Rice, Jesus, and they welcome back Bukayo Saka. So Arsenal, who are managed by Mikel Arteta, line up as follows, with David Raya in goal, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Alexander Zinchenko, Martin Odegaard, the captain, Jorginho and Declan Rice, with Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus making up the starting lineups. The substitutes for Brighton is Jason Steele, the substitute goalkeeper, Igor Julio, Valentin Barco, Joel Veltman, Adam Lallana, Facundo Buonanotte, Cameron Piupian, João Pedro, and Ansu Fati. For Arsenal is Aaron Ramsdale, Jacob Kiwior, Takiro Tomiyasu, Thomas Partey, Emil Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Gabriel Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah and Leandro Trossard. Arsenal are in their changed jerseys today of the illuminous yellow shirts with the black stripes, black socks and yellow. Black shorts and yellow socks. They're in a huddle preparing now for their final preparations for this game. Brighton in their blue and white stripes, of course, blue shorts. And there's Mikel Arteta there. These two teams have met each other 29 times, with Arsenal winning 16 of those, losing 8, and there has been 5 draws. The game will get underway. Our referee today is John Brooks, 34 from Moulton Mowbray in Leicestershire. And he is joined by Lee Betts, Dan Robertson on the line, Keith Stroud is the 4th official, Rob Jones and Simon Long are in VAR, as this is the weekend that players will take the knee in the stand against racism, not just in football, but in greater society. As the game is underway, it goes back to David Raya, who launches the ball long downfield. That's headed on by Van Hecke, and it's picked up by Zinchenko. It's a foul there, and a free kick for the foul by Van Hecke on Kai Havertz. It is about 25 yards out, just at the corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side. On his feet now is Kai Havertz. Martin Odegaard standing over this along with Declan Rice. You can expect at least one of them to swing that ball in. And it's Havertz is well. Just wonder, as it's on that left-hand side, whether perhaps Declan Rice might be the favourite with this free kick. It's actually left to Martin Odegaard, so he's going to swing this one in, is the Arsenal captain. He delays it, and it's a high line by Brighton, right on the edge of their own penalty area. It's swung in by Zinchenko, and it's just wide from Gabriel. Oh, it was swung in. It was a beautiful ball by Martin Odegaard, and Arsenal firing a warning shot across Brighton's bow early on. He may have just strayed into an offside position, but their header there was beautiful. But for Bruggen, if that was on target, that would have been definitely 1-0. Mike has just asked, what do you make of Zinchenko starting ahead of Kivia, who's been in form? I'll come to that in a moment, Mike, as David Raya just gets his foot on it, but he only launches it in the air, and it's now picked up and it's dropped back to Tariq Lamptey, and Lamptey drops it back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke just across there to his central defensive partner, Lewis Dunk. He's the captain. Back to Van Hecke. Going back to what your question was, Mike, I think it's an interesting switch by Mikel Arteta. Zinchenko does like to get forward, though, and perhaps that's what he's looking for today. As here's Lamptey coming forward now down the right-hand side for Brighton and Hove Albion. And he just dropped it back into the midfield there, and it's run back there by the number 22 for Brighton, who is Carlos Baleda. And it's back now with Van Hecke. Van Hecke across to Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk played forward into the midfield there to Jakob Moda. And Moda plays the ball forward down the left via Pascal Gross. Coming forward now then is Enciso. Enciso tries to get the cross in, but it's a good block by Ben White and it goes behind. For a corner. Mike thinks it's a strange one. Only reason I can think of is because of the threat of Lamptey and Enciso on the right. It could well be that. I mean, definitely Zinchenko is a quick player. He might have even started Tomiyasu in that situation. So I agree, Mike. It's an interesting one, all right. The corner is going to be taken by Pascal Gross. And that was Russell's comment, by the way. Pascal Gross swings its corner in, and it's just headed out by Gabriel to the edge of the area. And it's picked up there by Adinga. Adinga drops the ball back to Lamptey, and Arsenal have a player down right now, and it looks like that is Jorginho, who is down on his back right now. Game off to a 100-mile-an-hour start. And thank you for joining us here on the Commentary Hub for this game. Big game for the Gunners. Obviously, they need to hold their serve. Liverpool play Manchester United tomorrow. What this could actually mean is if Arsenal can win this match, they can not only go top of the league, but stay top if Manchester United do what they did in the FA Cup against Liverpool, as we look at that header again by Gabriel. We've had some comments in the comment section. JB says Burnley cheated again. Surprise, surprise. Luke Turton says Zinchenko is a great player in my opinion. I feel it makes sense for him to start after the amount of games in a short span. And I think that's a sensible comment. Actually, I agree with that. It does. Mikel Arteta perhaps does need to rotate the squad, especially with Bayern Munich coming up in the Champions League, and they seem to have slipped a little further behind in the race for the Bundesliga title as well, with Leverkusen winning today and Bayern blowing a 2-goal lead against Heidenheim. As Jorginho goes off now, and the referee John Brooks is see what he's going to do here. I don't know whether he's just going to hand the ball to Pascal Gross. He does. He hands the ball to Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross looking for options, and Ciso's off on the left there, and he drops the ball to Baleda. Baleda drops it back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke gives the ball to Dunk. Lewis Dunk now. He's a captain for Brighton today. Back to Van Hecke. Advanced position for him. He plays the ball down to Enciso on the far side. Enciso swings the ball in. It's headed out by Declan Rice, only to the edge of the penalty area, and headed out again by Kai Havertz, but only as far as Lewis Dunk. Looks like Brighton have a player down right now, and it looks like it's Estupinan. And Estupinan now just on his back as Kai Havertz just moving away. Well, for Brighton, well, they've not been on the best of runs so far. They've only won 1 in their last 5, and that was a home game against Nottingham Forest, more recently tying with Brentford 0-0. Arsenal, of course, have won 4 out of their last 5. Only points dropped was to Manchester City, 0-0 in that game. And here is Declan Rice for Arsenal. Rice plays it across and all the way back to William Saliba. Saliba gives it to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball, just plays it down the left-hand side to Zinchenko. As discussed, he likes to get forward, Alexander Zinchenko. He drops the ball back there to Gabriel, and Gabriel sends it back to William Saliba. Saliba holds the ball up now and plays it across to Odegaard, and Odegaard drops it to Gabriel, and Gabriel played a hospital pass there, really, and it's picked up now by the number 24, Andingra, and he is dispossessed, and Arsenal can come forward now. It's Gabriel Jesus. He drops it back to Declan Rice. Rice back to Gabriel. A little bit more sure of his pass this time. He gives it back to David Raya, and Raya clears the ball downfield. But goodness me, he only finds Estupinan. Estupinan, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. He crosses it in, and that is good work by Alexander Zinchenko, who just calmly heads it back to David Raya. David Raya releases it to Declan Rice. He's on the edge of his own penalty area now, and he gives the ball to Saliba. Saliba holds the ball up centre of his own half there, midway inside his own half, given to Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball now to Saliba. Good ball to Gabriel Jesus. He's on the left today. Jesus will pull it into the middle again now. Expect that today. Gabriel Jesus will make those runs into the middle. And he drops the ball back to Saliba. Saliba back to Ben White, and it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel just plays the ball down the left to Alexander Zinchenko. He plays the ball forward to Jesus. Jesus tried to turn Lamptey, but that's a good interception. And Lamptey gives the ball to Van Hecke, who drops it to Lewis Dunk. Dunk gives it back to Verbruggen, and it's now with Van Hecke. Van Hecke to Lamptey. Lamptey does a quick 1-2 there with Gross. And here's Lamptey now. He gives the ball down the left to Andrins. And the ball is played forward now to Lamptey. The ball is pulled across, and here's a chance there for the number 10, Enciso, who balloons it over the crossbar. Well, what an opportunity. It was a clear strike on goal. You'd expect Enciso to do better. And the pass was initially played across by Lamptey. And, well, you don't get much space around Arsenal's penalty area. And that's one he should have done a little bit better with. And here's David Raya now. He releases the ball to Jorginho. Jorginho gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel clears the ball downfield. It deflects off Enciso, goes out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. As Enciso there will be disappointed with that effort. Alexander Zinchenko takes a throw-in and drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel gives it to Saliba. Back to Gabriel. And we've had 9 minutes gone here. It's Brighton 0, Arsenal 0. I want to thank you for tuning in today, for spending your valuable time with us. We really appreciate that. As here is William Saliba. Saliba plays the ball across to Ben White. And it's a poor ball there to Bukayo Saka, and Brighton intercept. And here's Van Hecke now, just inside the centre circle. Van Hecke is looking for options available. He tries the through ball to Welbeck. And it comes back to Enciso again with a strike, but it's well wide. It's actually Jacob Moder that time who pulls the shot wide. And an opportunity again, really, for Brighton, who are getting 1 or 2 chances on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area, which is not something you see very often against the best defence in the league. But it's going to be a goal kick now for Arsenal, which is going to be taken by David Raya. And he's just going to hand the ball to Gabriel, who just dropped it back to Raya. And Raya now is going to launch this ball downfield. And he's looking for Kai Havertz, but Lewis Dunk deals with that very, very well. And Havertz is in an offside position anyway. And it's going to be a free kick to Brighton, midway inside their own half of the field. It's given to Van Hecke. Van Hecke drops it back to Lewis Dunk, who goes back to the Dutch international, Bart Verbruggen. He releases it there to Tariq Lamptey. Lamptey plays the ball forward. Chasing this one down is Danny Welbeck, but that is good work by William Saliba, and he gets the ball away from Welbeck and gives it to Jorginho. Jorginho plays the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard just down the right there, tried to find Bukayo Saka again, but Pascal Gross now has the ball. It's a quick 1-2 there with Moda, and Arsenal win the ball back with Declan Rice. Declan Rice hands the ball to Saliba. Saliba back to Gabriel. There's a lot of scrappy play early on here from both teams. David Raya now has the ball off Gabriel, and he releases it back to Gabriel as Arsenal just trying to calm things down. And here's Jorginho. He's looking for options available. He's got them left and right. And that's a really good ball to Ben White. And he sets Bukayo Saka off. And Bukayo Saka's got two men in the middle. But he comes inside to Saka. He shoots and puts it wide. Oh, he'll be disappointed with that effort. That is a golden opportunity for Arsenal. It's the second chance they've had in this game. Certainly, I would expect Bukayo Saka to perhaps do a little better there. He also had alongside him Kai Havertz and Jesus, but he turned the defender Lewis Dunk and went for the shot, and it just curled it wide. And Arsenal come mighty close again to taking the lead, and they've got the ball again now with Ben White, and he gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard to Saka again. Saka pulled the ball across the head, takes the shot. Stupid save by Bart Verbruggen. And well, Arsenal now started to pile on the pressure. That is a really good save by the Dutch international Bart Verbruggen. And the pass across there were by Bukayo Saka to Jesus. And that is a really good save. And Arsenal are going to get their first corner of the game. We've had almost 13 minutes gone here. It's still 0-0, but Arsenal have come close to scoring 3 times early on. A couple of chances for Brighton in that as well. As we are running a tight ship here today for both teams, as Bukayo Saka is going to swing this one in. That 6-yard box is crowded. It's swung in by Saka, and it's headed out by Estupiñán. Only as far as Odegaard, who heads it back to Saka. Saka gives it back to Odegaard, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side, swung into the middle. It's headed out by Dunk, but only as far as Jesus. Jesus launches the ball back in, looking for Saka. It's headed up in the air, and it's tried to be headed out that time by Moda. But Jesus still has it, and going across to challenge him is Tariq Lamptey. Really good defending by Lamptey, and he gets the ball clear, but only as far as Zinchenko gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice down that left-hand side, and he gives the ball to Zinchenko. Zinchenko pulls the ball into the middle there, looking for Kai Havertz, and he drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball to Saliba, who does a quick 1-2 with Zinchenko, gets the ball back and gives the ball to Jorginho, passes it to Ben White. He in turn releases it to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard back to Jorginho. Good build-up play by Arsenal list. And here's Bukayo Saka again. Gives the ball to Ben White down the right-hand side here, but that's a good interception there by Enciso. Enciso drops the ball back there to Moda. Moda plays the ball long and all the way through to David Raya, who's well outside of his penalty area there. Releases the ball to Declan Rice, and it's given to Odegaard, and Odegaard plays the ball to Ben White as Arsenal charging down the right-hand side again. It's now with Jorginho. Jorginho launches the ball long. Oh, he's found Kai Havertz. A beautiful ball by Jorginho. Havertz in the area now. He lifts the ball. It's back close to the Jesus. Oh, he puts it wide. What a chance for Jesus again. And he puts the ball wide. This game is being played at 100 miles an hour. And this is a beautiful ball by Jorginho. The run time to perfection by Havertz. Havertz has the presence of mind to pass the ball across to the back post to Gabriel, who's on the edge of the 6-yard box. But his header is misdirected wide, and he will be very disappointed with that chance. And that is an opportunity for Gabriel Jesus, as chances have fallen to Arsenal here that they haven't taken. And there's Pascal Gross, and drops the ball back to Estupiñán. Estupiñán to Dunk, back to Gross, German international. Pascal Gross, midway inside his own half. He gives the ball to Van Hecker. Van Hecker plays the ball back to Dunk. Dunk holds the ball up here, and he's going to go back to Bart Verbruggen, actually, and Verbruggen clears the ball downfield. And it's the header is won there by Ben White. He heads the ball back into the Brighton half of the field. Gross heads it back in, and it's picked up by Danny Welbeck. Welbeck drops the ball back there to Pascal Gross. That's a beautiful long ball by Gross, and he picks our Andings with a shot, and he goes just wide. I think I've pronounced that wrong. It's Andingra. Sorry, I apologise. It's Andingra. He picks up that ball there on the edge, well, on the corner of the penalty area, and cuts inside and gets that shot away by Andingra. And it's behind for a goal kick. And we have had 60 minutes played here. Brighton 0, Arsenal 0. And David Raya now releases the ball to Gabriel to Raya. Raya releases the ball to Ben White. Ben White pulls back and gives the ball to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And it's cleared long downfield, and that's a good win of the header there by Lewis Dunk. And Dunk is just going to pick up the ball on the edge of his own penalty area here. It's at the corner of the penalty area, and he's just going to go back to Verbruggen with Martin Odegaard closing in. And Verbruggen clears the ball downfield. It's flicked on that time by Welbeck, but shielding it in the back is Ben White. And he gives the ball back to Raya, and Raya returns the ball to White. White plays it to Odegaard, and Odegaard drops it to Saliba. And it's now picked up here by Zinchenko. Alexander Zinchenko gives the ball back to Saliba. Saliba back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko looking for options available. He tries to lift the ball up to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus brings the ball down. He's just having some trouble controlling it, but gets it back to Zinchenko. And Declan Rice wins the ball, and it's now with Jesus again. Jesus tries to play the ball through to Havertz, but he's closed down there by Lewis Dunk. That's good defending by the Brighton captain on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Dingra drops the ball back there to Tariq Lamptey, who gives the ball to Van Hecker. Van Hecker's clearance only finds Zinchenko. Zinchenko finds Jorginho. And now Jorginho just does a quick 1-2 there with William Saliba and gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard down the right-hand side to Saka. Saka's got a Stupinan in front of him, but he gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard gives it back to Ben White, and that's a really good challenge by a Stupinan. And I think Ben White has caught a Stupinan late there. That might be a free kick to Brighton. Half-time score in the Rome derby. It is Roma 1, Lazio 0, in case you're interested. And it's Estupinan has got to his feet now, just clutching his ribs. It looks like, yes, he got a knee in the ribs there from Ben White. That did not look very pleasant. That'll be quite painful, I suspect. And Lewis Dunk will take the free kick, and he gives it back to Bart Verbruggen. And Verbruggen just clears the ball there and gives it to Lewis Dunk. Dunk clears the ball downfield. He's looking for the Danny Welbeck. Former Arsenal player, of course, Danny Welbeck, and Manchester United. I think certainly he'll want to score against his former team. And Enciso there is fouled by Bukayo Saka, and it's going to be a free kick to Brighton and Hove Albion. And Arsenal, well, they've had a few chances early on in this game. One from that man, Bukayo Saka. The free kick has in fact been given the other way to Arsenal. So standing over this free kick is Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice are all over this one. The free kick is taken quickly, and it finds Bukayo Saka in the area. Bukayo Saka holds the ball up well. He gives it there to Havertz, and the shot comes in by Odegaard and goes wide. Just wonder if that took a deflection along the way, as Odegaard looks a little bit frustrated. Indeed it is. It's a corner to Arsenal, which Bukayo Saka is going to take. And Saka is going to swing this ball in. Martin Odegaard, well, he's just going to linger around the edge of the box. We know how dangerous he is from those positions. And scored in the week against Luton that way. And the corner is going to come in by Bukayo Saka. Saka swings the ball in, and the heads go up, and there's a chance there, and it goes wide off Gabriel. Gabriel goes down, and he's complaining about something. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at this. He looks like he was definitely contact made there. I don't know if it was enough to really warrant a penalty. I think he goes down a little bit easy there. And it's going to be a goal. Well, the free kick has been given the other way, in fact. And Brighton have won the ball and have given it to Danny Welbeck. Welbeck drops the ball back and is giving it to Donk. Donk gives it to Van Hecker. Van Hecker. And it's picked up in midfield now by the number 20, which is Baleda. And Baleda plays the ball forward, but it's a free kick to Arsenal. And here is Martin Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Ben White. Ben White just drops the ball back there to Jorginho. Jorginho gives the ball to Saliba. And Saliba just gives the ball to Ben White. Back to Jorginho. And now it's Jorginho who gets the ball back off David Raya. The ball is played forward now. And it's just returned by Havertz to Declan Rice. And Declan Rice now storming through the midfield. Good run by Declan Rice. He goes down under the challenge. The referee, John Brooks, plays on. And here is Jorginho now for Arsenal. And he gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel looking for the long ball for Zinchenko. But as quick as Zinchenko is, he's not going to be able to catch that. And the ball goes out of play for a throw-in, which is right down by the Brighton corner flag. If there's any Brighton fans or Arsenal fans in the chat, please feel free to comment. I'll read your comments out. The only caveat is that you please keep it nice and clean and family friendly. And the ball is won by Lamptey, and Lamptey just tries to drop it back to Van Hecker. Van Hecker clears the ball downfield as far as Saliba, who hooks the ball back into the Brighton zone, but they win the ball back now, and it's coming forward. And that's a good ball there by Andingra, but David Raya is out to collect that. And it's now he releases it quickly and gives it to Martin Odegaard. And Arsenal quickly on the break now. This game is really being played at 100 miles an hour. Here is Declan Rice. Declan Rice just gives the ball to Saliba. Saliba to Odegaard. There's a quick 1-2 with Jorginho. Odegaard gives the ball to Zinchenko. Midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. Back to Jorginho. He's about 35 yards out. He launches the ball into the area to Saka. Saka tries to head the ball down to Odegaard. It comes back to Odegaard. He's just unable to control it. Brighton clear the ball away with Lewis Dunk, but Arsenal win the ball back now with Ben White. And Ben White tried to find Bukayo Saka, but that's a good interception by Estupiñán. And Brighton now have the ball and can come forward with Pascal Gross. Gross plays the ball to Andingra down this right-hand side for Brighton. He's got Lamptey overlapping him. He gives the ball to Lamptey. Lamptey now cuts inside, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Gives the ball to Baleba. Baleba plays it across to Pascal Gross. Gross to Enciso. Back to Gross. Enciso, Gross now has the ball. He drops the ball back to Van Hecker. Patient build-up by Brighton. And it's Moda. Moda drops it back to Van Hecker. And now it's with Dunk. Dunk gets the ball back. And it's now with Van Hecker. He's got Andingra down this right-hand side. He gives the ball to Welbeck. Welbeck tries to play in Lamptey. And Lamptey goes down. And the Brighton players are appealing for a penalty. I don't think they're going to get that. Mike says very good competitive game this so far. Should be ahead with the chance that we've created, but Brighton look a threat going the other way. Agreed with Russ Vernon, and frankly I agree with that as well. I think Brighton have had their chances coming forward, but I think with the amount of chances Arsenal have had, they really should be ahead. And as Lamptey gets back on his feet, and it's going to be a goal kick. with no question of that really being a penalty. As we take a look at Kai Havertz in such good form for Arsenal right now. Kai Havertz has scored 4 out of the last 7 games, and it's of course added to his tally in the international break for Germany as well. And the goal kick is taken quickly, and here is Raya, who releases the ball to Jorginho. Jorginho gives the ball to Zinchenko down the left. Zinchenko drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward there to Declan Rice, who drops it back to Zinchenko. And now it's back with Gabriel, gives the ball to David Raya, and David Raya, well, that was close. He manages to find Gabriel with that clearance, but only just under pressure there. And the ball forward only finds Lewis Dunk. And Lewis Dunk looking for Welbeck, but that's good work by Ben White. And it's dropped back by Jorginho to Ben White again. Under pressure here from Baleba. And the ball is played forward to Saka, but it's intercepted by Enciso down the left-hand side. And Enciso is alleged to have fouled Bukayo Saka. Not 100% sure on that one. As Tariq Lamptey is now down. You're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM, and Focus on Football. And don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Tariq Lamptey still down. Roberto De Zerbi calling over Jakub Moder to have a tactical discussion, and Arsenal taking their opportunity to have a discussion with Mikel Arteta as well. Looking at the stats, 6 attempts by Arsenal, only 1 on target, forcing that great save from Bart Verbruggen. 3 for Brighton, none on target at this stage for them either. And Mikel Arteta now just having a chat with Declan Rice, just trying to get his Arsenal team focused, motivated, and maybe taking some of the chances that they've had. Roberto De Zerbi, Brighton have slipped down to 10th in the table. They've kind of slipped out of that European race right now. And Tariq Lamptey now will go off the field, and he'll have to be off for about 30 seconds before he's allowed back on, with that really rather ridiculous rule, in my opinion. The game's going to get back underway. The ball has been given back to Arsenal. Now, let's see. It's Ben White who's got the ball. He plays it across to Jorginho. Jorginho now, Arsenal breaking forward. Jorginho looking for options available. And he just plays the ball into the central midfield area to William Saliba. Saliba gives it back to Jorginho. Looking for options available. Jorginho plays it down the left there to Zinchenko. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Zinchenko does a quick pass to Declan Rice, who gives it to Gabriel Jesus. Back to Jorginho, to Declan Rice, to Jorginho. He tries to slip the ball through there to Odegaard, but that was cleared away, and in fact it's going to be a free kick for the foul on Andingra by Jorginho. And we've had half an hour gone here. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 1. And we have Sue Hedges in the commentary hub. Evening, folks. What's the commentator's name, please? I haven't been online for a while. It's a new voice to me. He's great, though, and very engaging. Thanks very much, Sue. My name is Paul James. I'm your commentator today, and thank you very much for that nice feedback. It's always pleasant to get that kind of feedback. Thank you very much for that. And here's Pascal Gross, and plays the ball long over to the towards the right-hand side, and Ben White just wins the ball there and knocks it back to the goalkeeper. And here's Alexander Zinchenko, just down the left here. Zinchenko will go all the way back to David Raya. Half an hour gone here, and we are 0-0 at the Amex Stadium, with Brighton just holding off Arsenal right now, but Arsenal have had a lot of chances. Here is Martin Odegaard now, midway inside the Brighton half. Odegaard gives the ball down to the left to Jesus, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Jesus thinks about the shot. He drops it back to Rice. Rice gives it back to Zinchenko down the left. Zinchenko now. And drops the ball to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus now back to Zinchenko, and gives the ball there to Ben White, and it's back now with Gabriel. Gabriel to Saliba. Saliba back to Gabriel, and he's just over the halfway line. It's a good ball by Gabriel to Jesus down the left. Jesus now gets into the penalty area. Oh, he goes down. That's a penalty, surely. Indeed, the penalty has been given. And referee John Brooks gives a penalty. He can't have any complaints, surely, Lamptey here. That was most definitely a penalty. We're going to take another look at it in a moment. Here, we'll see it here. Jesus gets in. Oh, it's a clumsy challenge. I can't understand the complaints. That is an absolutely reckless and clumsy challenge. Swinging at it with his leg, completely misses the ball. And Arsenal are now going to have the chance to take a 1-goal lead. And there's no doubt that it's in the penalty area either. So this one is going to be a definite penalty. Sure, there's no need for VAR here, is there? And we've already seen 1 or 2 controversial VAR decisions today, as it seems to be every single week in football now. And we're going to just take a look and see who's going to take this penalty. I suspect it will be Bukayo Saka. It could be Odegaard. It is Odegaard. He's got his hands on the ball right now, the Arsenal captain. Opportunity to give Arsenal a 1-goal lead, as Bart Verbruggen is still arguing with John Brooks. Maybe he's just trying to delay things to put pressure on Martin Odegaard. Some gamesmanship here. But it actually now Bukayo Saka has the ball in his hand, and it is in fact going to be Bukayo Saka that is going to take it. Saka, well, he scored 5 out of his last 5 penalties, most of them going to the goalkeeper's left-hand side. So we'll see now as Bukayo Saka steps up for this one. As the referee Saka just waiting for John Brooks to blow his whistle. Bukayo Saka steps up and he scores. He puts it in the right-hand corner. Bukayo Saka sending Bart Verbruggen the wrong way. And on 33 minutes, it is Arsenal who take the lead at the Amex Stadium with a penalty from Bukayo Saka. Just sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, put it in the right-hand corner. And Bart Verbruggen, no chance with that, I think, even if it had gone the right way. It's a really good penalty by Bukayo Saka right in the corner. Those are very, very difficult for a goalkeeper to save. And Arsenal take the 1-goal lead. And, well, you can't argue that it's not been coming. It certainly has. And a penalty on 33 minutes by Bukayo Saka as he salutes the Arsenal fans. And, well, we've 11 minutes to go till half-time. For those of you who are just joining us, Arsenal have taken the 1-goal lead from a Bukayo Saka penalty. We'll be chatting with Mike, who's an Arsenal fan, at half-time briefly. And we'll get his opinions on this first half as Brighton get the game back underway. It's Van Hecke. Van Hecke plays the ball forward and it just hits Gabriel in the face. He seems okay from that. It goes out of play. Then off Andingra, and a throw into Arsenal, and it's taken quickly, and they're trying to set Kai Havertz off on his way, but it's good work by Tariq Lamptey, a lot more efficient in the tackling this time. Gives it to Van Hecke, and Van Hecke plays it across to Lewis Dunk, and Dunk goes back to Verbruggen. Verbruggen gives the ball to Dunk, and it's played forward now, and it's a long ball there to Andingra. Andingra, edge of the penalty area now. Andingra turns, gets a shot away, but it's blocked. And Andingra again. Blocked one more time, but it's going to be a free kick this time, as Kai Havertz is alleged to have fouled Andingra. And he stays down. As John Brooks, well, John Brooks from Moulton Mowbray in Leicestershire certainly had no question about the penalty decision. And we've got another comment in the comment section. And it's from Roth. Evening, Sue. Good to have you with us. Our commentator's name is Paul James. And the free kick for Brighton is a good 30 yards out. It's just to the right of the D, as David Raya just organising his wall, and it is standing over this one is Pascal Gross. Now Groves has got Adingra and Balado to the right and to the left respectively. If he wants to go short, he may decide to launch it into the middle. As we wait for the referee's whistle here. Pascal Groves launches it into the box, and it's just headed up and out of play, or almost out of play, by Ben White, but Bukayo Saka keeps the ball in and hooks the ball out of play. And it's a throw-in for Brighton, level with the Arsenal penalty area down the left-hand side, and Estupiñán is going to take this throw-in. Estupiñán throws the ball back into towards Lewis Dunk, and Estupiñán picks up the ball and plays the ball forward there, but it's cleared away by William Saliba, and gives the ball to Bukayo Saka, and it's knocked out of play there by Lewis Dunk, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Arsenal, if the score stay the same, will be top of the league going into tomorrow, and we'll see if Manchester United can do Arsenal a favour tomorrow. Mike says Bukayo Saka just doesn't miss penalties. He's been sensational since he missed one for England in the Euro final. Yes, it's true. His penalty taking has been absolutely fantastic, hasn't it? Here's Gabriel. He plays the ball across to William Saliba. Saliba gives the ball there to Ben White, and Ben White drops it back to Saliba. And got a couple more comments in the comment section. I'll read those out in a moment. But here is Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball there to the number 2, William Saliba. Saliba trying to set off Ben White on the way. Ben White gets the cross in. And Kai Havertz almost got there, but that's a good piece of defending by Estupiñán. And it's going to be a corner for Arsenal. And just a conversation in the comment section going on there between Ruth and Sue as we look at Van Hecke's interception there. It's going to be a corner for the Gunners, and it's going to be Bukayo Saka who goes over on the right-hand side to take it. Third corner for Arsenal in this game. Bukayo Saka is going to swing this one in. And it's just held up here. Bukayo Saka crosses it in. There's a flick on, but Bart Verbruggen gets a good punch on it. It drops to Declan Rice on the edge of the area. He takes a shot and it's blocked, but the referee has seen an infraction, and it's going to be a free kick to the Seagulls on the edge of their own penalty area, which Van Hecke will take, Jan-Paul Van Hecke. And he gives the ball to the captain, Lewis Dunk, who drops it back to Bart Verbruggen. Verbruggen clears the ball to Tariq Lamptey. Lamptey knocks the ball forward there to Andingra. Andingra back to Lamptey, and Lamptey launches the ball forward, but he's only successful in finding Saliba, who gives the ball to Jorginho, and he goes all the way back to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. And it's now given to Gabriel, and a foul there on Declan Rice, and it's a free kick to Arsenal. Mike says only concern is that it should be 3 or 4 rather than just 1-0 scoreline. That is certainly should be, Mike. I do believe that, and of course if they continue to miss their chances, I do believe that you get punished for that, and Brighton will, as we look at that penalty again for that chopping tackle on Gabriel Jesus. And just takes him down there quite easily. As we are going to get the game back underway now. The free kick for Arsenal, it's launched long down the left-hand side to Kai Havertz. The ball goes out of play. And it's a throw-in which Alexander Zinchenko will take. It's just down the left-hand side, almost level with the Brighton penalty area. As Alexander Zinchenko just drops the ball down to Martin Odegaard, and he gets it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko releases the ball to Gabriel, and he gives the ball to his central defensive partner, William Saliba. Now back with Gabriel, and that's a good challenge that time by the Brighton left winger Andingra. And here is Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball back there to Zinchenko. Zinchenko gives it to Odegaard, but he's fouled by Pascal Gross. Free kick taken quickly, not from the right position, mind you. Kai Havertz launches the ball down the right-hand side, looking for Saka, but that's a good interception by Estupiñán. And Brighton breaking forward now with Estupiñán down the left-hand side. He cuts into the middle of Estupiñán and gives it to Welbeck. Welbeck's first touch wasn't the best, and Kai Havertz is able to win the ball back, and he drops it back to Bukayo Saka, and the ball is out of play. As we approach 4 minutes to go until half time. It is Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 1. You can see here the cut back to Welbeck. Welbeck's first touch wasn't the best. It's a free kick. Looks like it's going to be as well for Gabriel, who's down, clutching his ankle. He looks in a lot of pain there. Let's look at some of the comment section. Sue Hedges says, glad you're doing well. Ross, a new Braille keyboard, which is much better now. I wondered what Paul meant by the seagulls. I think she remembered there, Ross, I think, in the end. So I don't use the nicknames a lot, really. Sometimes I do. I think it's kind of cool, but it's Arsenal still have Gabriel down. And there's a long stoppage in play here. I want to thank you all again for joining us, spending time, your valuable time out of your day to join it with us, and it's very much appreciated. As we are waiting for Gabriel now to get back on his feet, he looks in a lot of pain there. Not getting much sympathy from the Brighton fans, as Gabriel is on his feet, as Arsenal cannot afford to be without him. He's been very impressive lately. He's limping off. He'll have to go off for 30 seconds, but he should be okay. Hopefully for him, it's just an impact knock. As we look at Mikel Arteta. 3 minutes to go till half time. I suspect there'll be about 4 or 5 minutes stoppage time, maybe due to a couple of stoppages, and plus the lead up to the penalty. Here is Pascal Gross, and he gives it to Dunk. Dunk now looking for options left and right. He gives the ball in the middle to Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Van Hecke drops it back to Lewis Dunk, and Dunk, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field, he drops it back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke plays the ball down the left to the corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. And it's picked up by Moda. Moda turns to the edge of the penalty area with a shot. A super effort on goal by Moda. And David Raya flung to his left-hand side to make the save. Oh, that really was a wonderful save. And just getting across there and pouring that one away from the top left corner. That really was harrowing in, and what a chance what a goal that would have been. But David Raya slams the door on that. And it's a corner for Brighton with Pascal Gross. He swings the ball in. It's headed down by Van Hecke. He's looking for Welbeck. But it's picked up by William Saliba. The referee, this is offside actually. And a stoppage in play. And we are going to have a free kick, which will be taken, I suspect, down the right-hand side, maybe taken by Ben White. As Gabriel is still moving gingerly. David Raya is in fact going to take the free kick, and behind him are those Arsenal fans who have made the reasonably short journey down to the south coast. As here now on the ball is Baleda. Baleda plays the ball long, looking for Enciso, but Enciso it goes over his head and out of play for a throw into Arsenal, which is going to be taken right on the halfway line down the left-hand side. Here's Declan Rice, and he drops the ball back to Saliba. Saliba does a quick 1-2 with Jorginho. Back with Saliba now. He's got options down the left for Zinchenko and options down the right with Ben White. He goes down the right to Ben White. Ben White just plays the ball into the middle to Bukayo Saka and back to Ben White. Ben White gets a cross in, but it is too close to the Brighton and Hove Albion goalkeeper, Bart Bruggen. And he just easily plucks that up at his feet. And as we approach in stoppage time now, I understand that our fourth official, Keith Stroud, has given 7 minutes stoppage time at the end of this first half. As now Brighton coming forward. It's a long ball there by Baloba looking for Andingra, but it goes straight through to David Raya, and he releases it down the left now to Zinchenko. Zinchenko holds the ball up just inside his own half, and he drops it back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice plays it over the halfway line to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard sends it down the right now to Bukayo Saka. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Saka is looking to play the ball back to Odegaard, but he's under pressure by Enciso. That's good work by Bukayo Saka. And it's now with William Saliba. Saliba gives the ball to Declan Rice. And the ball is played down the right again, this time to Ben White. Ben White tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Duncan. Just kept in play by Estupiñán, but that was dangerous, really, because scrambling to get that was the Arsenal goalkeeper, the Brighton goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. He clears the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in, and the throw-in is taken quickly. No, it's going to be held up as the rain now starts to come down on the south coast in Brighton. It's going to be taken by Ben White. Ben White now is going to take a long one here. Goes into the area, and Lewis Dunk handling that one, but he's left it alone. And just for a second, it broke for Kai Havertz, and he nearly poked it into the net. And here's Gabriel Jesus down the left, tries to get the cross in. Jesus now pulls the ball back to the corner of the penalty area to Zinchenko, left-hand side. Back to Declan Rice. Back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko plays the ball to Odegaard. Now Declan Rice crosses the ball across from the left-hand side. Lamptey's not able to clear it away. Jesus goes into the penalty area again. It breaks loose to Declan Rice. It's now with Zinchenko down the left. And now Declan Rice lifts the ball into the middle, and it's Bukayo Saka trying to get the shot in. Desperately defending for their lives here at Brighton. And finally, Tariq Lamptey clears the ball away. And he's only managed to find Gabriel, though, in the long run. And Gabriel gives it to Declan Rice, and now Zinchenko. But that's a good interception there by Gross, and he knocks the ball out of play for a throw-in. And you can see here, as we look at this again, Pascal Gross was muscled off the ball there by Kai Havertz way too easily, and he nearly poked the ball past Bart Verbruggen. As chances keep falling to Arsenal, Zinchenko wins the ball back, gives the ball to Declan Rice as he goes down the left flank again. That's a good challenge by Tariq Lamptey. It breaks loose now for Enciso. Enciso is a challenge there by Ben White, but it goes back to Estupiñán. 62% possession in this first half for Arsenal. 8 attempts, 6 on target. We've had 3 minutes of the allotted 7 of this first half, with Arsenal still holding to a 1-goal lead. Certainly probably should have been more. And here is Moda now for Brighton. Gives it to Lamptey. Lamptey knocks the ball back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke across to Lewis Dunk. Dunk back to Van Hecke, and he gives the ball to Lamptey. Lamptey to Baleba. Baleba back to Van Hecke. As Brighton now just getting used to keeping possession of the ball for a moment. Is the ball out to Enciso. Enciso down the left now. Enciso trying to get the cross in. Enciso, and William Saliba just takes care of that. Oh, that's very calm play as he turns the Brighton frontman Enciso. That is really good play, and just clears the ball away calmly. And now Arsenal are on the break with Gabriel Jesus played down the right to Odegaard. Odegaard is going to play through Ben White here. The ball comes across, but it's a good challenge by Lewis Dunk, and Pascal Gross will clear the ball out of play. But it's kept in play that time by Enciso, but Arsenal have the ball back. It's Ben White, and it's Kai Havertz now inside the penalty area. Back to Bukayo Saka. Back to White. White lifts across towards the back post to Declan Rice. And the linesman has given an offside flag, in fact. And it's going to be a free kick, as we have played 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. 7 is the number. As we look at Mikel Arteta. Half time, don't forget, you can join Mike for this brief discussion with me as he discusses Arsenal's first half performance against Brighton, as Tariq Lamptey tries to clear the ball forward, but that's a good interception by Jesus, and it goes out of play for a throw-in as the rain continues to tumble down in Brighton. As here's Lamptey, and there's Van Hecke. gives the ball back to the goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. Very calm Brighton, just trying to play it out from the back. It's Van Hecker now inside his own penalty area. Moves into the middle and tries to play the ball forward, but he's only found Martin Odegaard. Odegaard now going down the right. Inside the penalty area, Odegaard. He pulls it back to Bukayo Saka. Saka back to Declan Rice, and Saka gets it back down the right. He's in the penalty area now. Saka, the ball is played across, and that's a good piece of defending by Brighton that time. I think it was the goalkeeper that got his leg in the way of that. And it's now with Estupinan for Brighton, over by his own corner flag, down Arsenal's right. And he's only successfully given the ball away here to Odegaard again. And now inside the penalty area is Declan Rice. It's back to Saka, but Arsenal just bunched too close together and they lose possession. And here's Andingra now for Brighton. Played into the middle there to Moda. Moda heading back towards his own goalkeeper, and he gives it back to Bart Verbruggen as we are almost at the 7 minutes played at the end of this first half. And what we'll do is we'll have a chat with Mike at half time, and then we'll take a short break and we'll be back for the second half. Here is Moda. Moda gives the ball to Andingra down the left now. Andingra. And it's back with Lamptey, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side rather. And it's knocked back to Andingra, and in an offside position is Moda. And that is going to be a free kick as we have played the 7 minutes as an angry-looking Roberto De Zerbi. And that's it. It is half-time at the Amex Stadium. Arsenal lead by a 0-0, but really it could have been a lot more. Chances for Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus. And so far, though, Brighton are only 1 goal down, and it really is game on. And I'd just like to bring in Mike at this time. Mike, do you want to give me your first half assessment on Arsenal's play?
Yeah, so I thought we played very good football in that first half. It's been a very entertaining game, very interesting game as well. You know, Brighton, of course, has some problems defensively, and we've stood up to the task as we've sort of done in recent weeks, and been very comfortable really with that in regards to our defending, bar the one save for David Raya, which of course was netted in, but obviously he got up and made that save on that one. But I think we're well and truly in the ascendancy going into the break, to be honest. As you say, we had the chance through Gabriel first minute or so. He should have probably scored. We had the chances through Jesus, had a couple, Saka had one, then obviously the penalty came as well. And he, coolly put that one the wrong side of Verbruggen. So, yeah, quite impressed with that first half performance. Satisfied, and if we play like that in the second half, I think there's more goals to come.
Are you a little bit concerned with the 1 goal lead that you may get sucker punched in the second half?
Possibly. There's always a chance of that happening, but I'm confident with this defence. You can see that this back line have really grown in the last year, really, to be honest. You could say the last couple of years, but the last year in particular, the likes of Saliba and Gabriel have really formed this strong partnership now. So, with White and Zinchenko either side as well, who are doing all right. I don't really see there being too much of an issue, but as you say, anything's possible. And the longer it goes on at 1-0, the more chances Brighton will take.
All right, well, we want to thank you very much, Mike, for your first half assessment there. We'll join you again at full time to discuss things there. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back for the start of the second half. Join us then. Welcome back to the start of the second half, as both teams are now out of the tunnel. And doesn't look like there's been any changes by either side, which I have to say I'm not entirely surprised at. I think both sides have played quite well. Brighton have created chances. They haven't been able to take those chances. Arsenal with the lead with the penalty goal from Bukayo Saka on 33 minutes. But Arsenal just now gathered before they start the second half here at the Amex Stadium. And Now we're about to get the second half underway, which Brighton will be attacking the goal to our left in the second half. Just joining us, Arsenal in yellow and black stripes, and Brighton in the blue and white stripes get the game back underway. Attacking the goal to our left, it's played forward and just headed there by Gabriel, and the ball is now played to Martin Odegaard, but it's wayward of Odegaard, and here's Enciso now for Brighton. Enciso, edge of the area, gets a shot away, but it's a comfortable save. And chance there for Enciso. And just in a bit of space in front of him again. Arsenal just allowing a little bit of space on the edge of their own penalty area. It's a dangerous game to play for the Gunners, and it's cleared downfield by Raya. Up in the air to win that ball is Balado and White, but the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, for Brighton, as we've just got the second half underway. Still 1-0, and the throw-in will be taken just inside Brighton's own half of the field down the right-hand side. But the ball has been given away to Odegaard, and now Odegaard's away. He's giving it to Bukayo Saka. Saka. It's now with Havertz. Havertz goes down the left-hand side to Rice. Rice to Gabriel Jesus, who cuts in the penalty area one more time. Jesus trying to turn Lamptey, but that is poor play by the Arsenal forward, really. Looks like we're going to have an Arsenal corner. I think it came off Lamptey last. And the corner is going to take place. It's going to come down the left-hand side. And usually this would be Declan Rice territory. Indeed it is. He's going to take this one. And in there is Jorginho, William Saliba, Jesus at the back post. There is Havertz and Gabriel. It's swung in, and there's a header from Gabriel, but he didn't hardly get anything on that, and it's cleared away by Moda and out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. And the referee now has stopped play. He's looking at something. He's checking a possible penalty for a shirt pull on Kai Havertz. Now he's got a big hand in the shirt, but that was a quick check, and it's nothing has been given. And here's Bukayo Saka now for Arsenal down the right hand side. Gives the ball to Saliba, and down the right again to Havertz. Havertz gets into the penalty area, cross towards the back post, and there's a header by Jesus, and it's just wide. Oh, on the back post, Gabriel Jesus was right there. He tried heading it down to see if he could divert it past Bart Verbruggen, but he just puts it the wrong side of the post, and it's another chance, really, that you'd expect somebody of Jesus' quality to do better at. And that's another chance goes begging for Arsenal. Here's Welbeck. He's fouled. This time by Jorginho. It's going to be a free kick to Brighton, just inside the Arsenal half of the field, only by a couple of yards. Back with Pascal Gross. Gross gives the ball to Dunk, and it's now with Gross again. He tries to win that ball, but he's not able to. And Arsenal coming away with it down the right with Kai Havertz. He gets into the penalty area, Havertz, and he goes down, but he's not going to get a penalty for that. Perhaps he may have slipped there on this wet surface. The rain has been coming down. And Bart Verbruggen releases the ball there to Lamptey. Lamptey just gives the ball to Balebo, but Balebo nearly gave the ball away, and it took Van Hecker a smart piece of defending to win that ball back and gives it to Estupinan. And Estupinan drops the ball back to Lewis Dunk. And now it's Pascal Gross. Gross gives the ball to Baleba. Baleba knocks the ball back there to Van Hecker. Van Hecker gives the ball to Dunk, who gives the ball to Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross drops the ball back to Dunk, and Dunk plays the ball forward here to Enciso. Enciso just trying to turn away. Oh, that's a good ball trying to find Andinga, and he does eventually find him, and it's Zinchenko that has to come across and make that challenge, and it results in a corner to Brighton down the right-hand side. Well, Zinchenko is making his way now into the box to do some defending. This is a third corner of the game for Brighton down the right-hand side. And just lining up the penalty area of Brighton now. They've got a number of players in there. Moder, Welbeck, Van Hecke, Dunk, Baleba. They appear to be all in like a skirmish line now. The cross comes in and it tries to be flicked on by Baleba. And it in the end bounces to Estupiñán. And Estupiñán will have a shot down from the left-hand side. And he pulls the shot wide. As once again, Brighton have not yet achieved a shot on target. But that is a half chance, one would argue. For someone of Estupiñán's quality. And Arsenal have another player down as Ciso has come over to try to help the player back on his feet. And White is asking to leave, telling Ciso to leave him alone. And White just down on his feet there. We'll just try to see where that came from. Well, there appeared to be a hand raised by Estupiñán. I don't think there was much in it. Well, that's poor form by White. That's really poor form. Let's have another look at this. Oh, that's shocking. That's shocking. He should be booked for that. He should absolutely be booked for that. That is. I'm sorry. I may be the Arsenal correspondent, but I am not going to sit back and let that go unmentioned. That was shocking by Ben White. He should be in the referee's notebook for that. And it's going to be a goal kick ultimately after that rather pathetic display by Ben White. And almost giving the ball away there was Gabriel, and that is good work by Moder. It's going to be a throw-in to Brighton, or to Arsenal, I should say. It's given to Jorginho, and Jorginho returns it there to Zinchenko. Zinchenko hooks the ball forward. It's knocked back into the Arsenal half of the field, and it's picked up by Declan Rice. Declan Rice plays the ball out wide here to Jesus down the left-hand side. Jesus cuts into the middle, tries to find Odegaard, but it's a poor ball. And Brighton can now come forward on the break with Enciso. And it's Moder who eventually gets a second bite at the cherry, but it's won back by Gabriel. Gabriel, it's now back with Jorginho. Jorginho, midway inside the Brighton half of the field, and he drops it back there to Ben White, back to Jorginho to Zinchenko. And Zinchenko drops the ball back into his own half to Gabriel. It's now with Jorginho, and now Odegaard. Zinchenko. Odegaard. The comment from Mike, which I'll read out in just a moment's time. Here's Zinchenko. Zinchenko gives it to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus storming through the middle of the park, midway inside the Brighton half of the field. It's Ben White now. Gives the ball to Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka cuts inside, drops it to Odegaard. Odegaard to White. White gives a brilliant ball there now to Kai Havertz down the right. Inside the penalty area is Kai Havertz. It's pulled back to Odegaard. He's so dangerous from there. Gets a shot away and it's turned over the crossbar. Bart Verbruggen forcing the Brighton goalkeeper into another wonderful save. As it's pulled back to the edge of the area and he just gets a shot away. Corner of the D really just on the right-hand side. Forcing a good save from the goalkeeper. Mike says I'd normally back my own players, but White was barely touched there. At the end of the day, you need to say things as they are, and for me, he was playing for that. Agree with you totally 100%, Mike. Absolutely, he was playing for it. I'm going to call that out if I see that. Here's Bukayo Saka. Now with the corner down the right-hand side for Arsenal from the brilliant save from Bart Verbruggen. So he plays it short to Saka to Odegaard. Saka gets it back in towards the middle to Zinchenko. Zinchenko lifted through to Saka. Saka gets the cross in, and just on the end of that was Estupiñán. And another shot there, this time by Saliba, but it's blocked. And it goes all the way out now to the middle of the park, cleared away. And it's now with David Raya, as Arsenal have another opportunity there to increase their lead. Here is Zinchenko. And Zinchenko drops the ball back there to Gabriel. Gabriel back to Zinchenko. Under pressure that time by Baleba. And it's now back with I'm not sure who that is, Jorginho. And Enciso wins the ball back, but he's only just manages to play it back there to Lewis Dunk. Enciso gets the ball back now for Brighton. Enciso, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field, is fouled there multiple times. It'll be a free kick now to Brighton, as Jorginho trying to get in the face of Enciso. Enciso trying to take the free kick quickly. There was the first challenge there by Ben White, then the second challenge. I think he does also go down somewhat easily, but the contact was made. Case made for a foul that time. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 1. The free kick is midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And Pascal Gross is standing over this, as well as Baleba. It looks like it might be the German international Gross. He now has the ball and he plays it down the left to Enciso. Enciso's got Bukayo Saka in front of him. He gets in the area, does Enciso, and that's a good piece of defending by Bukayo Saka. And he just manages to put that ball behind for the fourth Brighton corner of the game. That is going to be down the left-hand side. And Arsenal, there's a disagreement between Declan Rice and Van Hecke. And Jorginho is chirping in. He'd do well to stay out of it. It's not really got anything to do with him. But that was a good piece of defending by Bukayo Saka. And the corner is going to be taken down this left-hand side. And it looks like it is going to be Gross who swings the ball in, and it's headed out and behind again for another corner. But the referee has stopped play. Declan Rice has once again got a problem with something. And Lewis Dunk now is also arguing with John Brooks. We're going to get another attempt at this corner. And once again, it's going to be Pascal Gross. He launches the ball into the area and it's just headed out. Only as far there as Enciso, but he got on the volley on that and ballooned it over the crossbar from the edge of the penalty area. And, well, that was... he had more time, I think, than he realised there. Started off with the pushing and the shoving from Lewis Dunk, I think, is what created the melee in the first place. As we take a look at this again, to Enciso, just maybe just inside the area, he got his foot right underneath that and ballooned it over the crossbar. And it's David Raya now with the goal kick. Long downfield, looking for Gabriel Jesus. That's a good header won by Tariq Lamptey. And all of a sudden now Bukayo Saka might be able to get in, but that is good work by Bart Verbruggen. Brighton's defence fell asleep for a moment there. It's a good job Verbruggen was awake, otherwise Bukayo Saka would have been through there. Throw into Arsenal, midway inside the Brighton half of the field, down the right. It's now launched forward into the penalty area by Jorginho, and Estupiñán just heads the ball back to the goalkeeper. And here's Pascal Gross. Gross just turning away from Odegaard. Gives the ball back to Lewis Dunk. Inside his own penalty area, he clears the ball forward now, looking for Enciso. That's a good interception that time by Saliba. And here's Bukayo Saka. First touch, not the best, but he gives it back to Saliba again. And now Brighton coming forward as well, but Saliba taking care of that at the back. Oh, Saliba's pass there was not met by Zinchenko. And is he able to keep it in there, Baleba? But no, it would appear not. The ball goes out of play. It went all the way over to the right-hand side. If Baleba would have managed to get that ball in, it would have been perhaps a 3-on-2 for Brighton, but they were not able to do that, as Brighton preparing a substitute at this time. Jorginho gets the ball off David Raya and puts the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Brighton, level with the Arsenal penalty area down the right-hand side. It just poor play by Jorginho that time. And all of a sudden, Brighton starting to believe. And here's Moda now, down the right for Brighton. And it's Baleba, plays the ball back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke to Dunk. Dunk tries to play the ball forward there to Gross, but he's not able to find him. And now all of a sudden, Kai Havertz can pick up the ball, and he's trying to get the ball away. And it goes through to the goalkeeper. And it's released to Van Hecker. And Van Hecker plays the ball long, but it's picked up by Gabriel. In the centre circle is Jorginho. Tries to set Martin Odegaard away. Odegaard drops the ball back into the centre circle. And it's now Odegaard again, down the right. Odegaard, he's got some space in front of him. He flicks the ball through to Kai Havertz, but Enciso intercepts. And now plays the ball forward, and Brighton are on the counter-attack. And it's Andingra gives the ball to Enciso. Enciso to Welbeck. Welbeck muscled out of the play that time, and Arsenal can now come forward with Declan Rice. Rice drops the ball to Gabriel, gives the ball to Zinchenko, and now here's Odegaard. Odegaard to Jorginho, and Ben White. Ben White gives the ball to Odegaard. He's about 30 yards out. Odegaard, he holds the ball up. Odegaard again, round about the middle there of the edge of the area, and here is Ben White. He gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. Saka down the right. He's just going to cut inside here. Is Saka tries to launch the ball into the 6-yard box, but it's headed out by Van Hecker. Here's Ben White again to Bukayo Saka, but that pass to Bukayo Saka was short. And then Cecil in turn gives the ball away. And now here's Martin Odegaard. Good move by Odegaard. He slips the ball there to Jorginho down the right. Jorginho pulled across to Havertz. And it's 2-0. And Arsenal. Is that the goal that's going to be enough to take them top of the table tonight? Oh, it was so much space down the right-hand side for Jorginho. He pulled it across the middle to Kai Havertz, where he just tapped it between the goalkeeper's legs. And it is 2-0 to Arsenal. And Kai Havertz has the goal on 61 minutes. And Arsenal are 2 goals to the good. And you can't argue, it's definitely been coming. The chances that they've had, and that will ease some of the stress at the moment. It was a terrible giveaway by Enciso. Straight to Jorginho. He gave it to White, who then gave it to Odegaard, who gave it back to Jorginho, and Jorginho pulled the ball across to Kai Havertz, who right in front there on the edge of the 6-yard box just tapped the ball into the net, and it is 2-0 to Arsenal. And is any Brighton fans in the chat? Do you feel your side can get back into this? If so, let us know, and I'll read out your comment. As yes, 2-0 to Arsenal, as those Arsenal fans behind that goal celebrate Kai Havertz's goal. 8 goals in 5 games. That is an impressive return, as Enciso now is just being substituted. Actually, there's Moda and Enciso that have come off on 63 minutes for Buonanotte and João Pedro. So Enciso is off 2 minutes, and Moda. And coming on now. Also, Arsenal making a change. Saka and Jesus are off for Martinelli and Trossard. So, double substitute by both sides. For Martinelli and Trossard. We'll just take a look at the substitutes that came on for Brighton, which is João Pedro and Buonanotte. So, Facundo Buonanotte and João Pedro on. Jacob Moda and Julio Enciso are off for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus on 62 minutes. And Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard are on, which covers the substitutes. As here is, Havertz just trying to win that ball back. He's alleged to have fouled Lewis Dunk there, so it's a free kick for Brighton. And here's Paul Van Hecker. We've had 65 minutes gone. It is 2-0 to Arsenal at the Amex Stadium here, and it's given to Pascal Gross. Gross just plays the ball down the left-hand side to Andingra. Andingra plays the ball there to João Pedro. plays the ball down the right there to Andingra, back to Pedro. Pedro just gives the ball there to Buonanetti. Buonanetti, it's the two substitutes are brought into the game, but he's dispossessed. Now Martin Odegaard can come away with the ball, and he's given it to Zinchenko down the left-hand side. He slips to Zinchenko. Buonanetti wins the ball back for Brighton, gives it to Van Hecke. Van Hecke, and he gives the ball to Gross. Pascal Gross, looking for options available. Tries to play the long ball over, and it's a poor ball there, looking for Andingra, who seems to have switched over now to the left-hand side. And you can see that going to be a throw into Brighton. It looks like switched over to the right is Buonanetti, with João Pedro perhaps playing up front with Danny Welbeck. It's more likely what's happening here. And the ball is won back here by Andingra. Andingra is tackled by Ben White, and it's going to be a free kick for the foul on Andingra. So far, no yellow cards issued by John Brooks in this game. Still time, I suppose. The ball is played forward here to João Pedro. Pedro plays a good ball through to Pascal Gross. Gross tries to do a back heel, finds Andingra in the penalty area, left-hand side. Andingra back to Gomez. Gomez slips, but he maintains possession. Gomez tries to get the cross in, but that is a good block there by Havertz. Good defensive work there by the German striker. Here is Baleba. It's now with João Gomez again. And the ball, João Pedro, I should say. And the ball is now with Baleba again. Baleba, back heel there by Gross to Andingra. Andingra, the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It must come off an Arsenal player last. And here's Baleba. Baleba. And he drops the ball there to Estupinan. Estupinan tries to play the ball forward, but it's cleared away. And it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in, cleared away by Gabriel there, and it's going to be a throw-in. Mike thinks Saka has a knock. It could be true. He wasn't moving so freely, was he? And here's Van Hecke. 23 minutes to go here. And Van Hecke just drops the ball there to Estupinan. Estupinan to Andingra down the left. Andingra drops the ball back to Estupinan. And he gives the ball to Baleba. Baleba across to Van Hecke. He's about 40 yards out. Van Hecke plays João Pedro. Pedro, very dangerous players. Adds an attacking threat to Brighton to help Danny Welbeck. Van Hecke. Back to João Pedro. To Estupinan. Estupinan plays it down the left here to Pascal Gross. Gross plays it into the middle there. It's midway inside the Arsenal half of the field, but it's Lewis Dunk. He gives the ball to Estupinan. Back to Gross. Gross plays the ball across to Van Hecke. It's about 35 yards out, Van Hecke. He plays the ball down the right. And it's to the other substitute, Buonanetti. And it's now back to Baleba. Estupinan. Estupinan looking to get across it now. He holds up the ball. Drop back there to Dunk. Dunk now. Gives the ball to Van Hecke. Van Hecke tries to play the through ball there looking for Welbeck, but it's cleared away that time by Gabriel into the Brighton half of the field. Picked up by Lewis Dunk, as Brighton now attempting to put some pressure on this Arsenal defence to see if they can get themselves back into this game. The ball is played forward to Pedro. Pedro drops the ball down there to the right there, and the cross coming in here by... the ball almost came through with Lamptey there, but Lamptey was not able to get the cross in, and he nods it back, in fact, to Van Hecke. Van Hecke to Baleba. Baleba plays the ball down the left-hand side to... the ball goes to Andingra. Andingra to Baleba. Baleba to Van Hecke. Van Hecke gives the ball to Lewis Dunk, and it's now down the left to Estupinan. Estupinan is not able to get the cross, and it's blocked by Martinelli. And he now goes back to Dunk. Dunk gives the ball to Andingra. Dingra tries to play the ball in now, and chasing that one is Buonanetti. And it's just cleared away there, but only as far as a Dingra. And it's now back with Dunk, as Dunk launches the ball into the area, but coming up to claim it is David Raya. It's a comfortable catch right in the middle of his 18-yard box there. And he sets off Zinchenko on his way, who in turn now sets off Martinelli. Martinelli cuts into the middle with a shot. Oh, it was quite an effort. And just getting the palm on it in the end, it was actually Trossard. Just getting a palm on it in the end was the goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. It was sneaking in to Verbruggen's front post. And that was a very, very good save in the end, because he saw it late. And it's going to be a corner to Arsenal down the left-hand side, which Declan Rice will take. And Declan Rice is going to swing this one in, as we are still at 2-0 with 19 minutes to go. Declan Rice right in front of those Arsenal fans behind that goal. As Declan Rice swings it in, the heads go up. Oh, it's a free header by Gabriel, but it was blocked by his own man, Kai Havertz. And here's Saliba, and Saliba is in an offside position, and it's going to be a free kick. But, well, the header there by Gabriel was blocked by his own man. Let's take a look at this. It looks like it hit Kai Havertz on the leg. Indeed, it did. As we are going to see Tomiyasu now, which means Zinchenko will be coming off. Alexander Zinchenko coming off on 71 minutes, and Takahiro Tomiyasu is coming on, making it Arsenal's third substitution of this game. And so Zinchenko not exactly rushing off, just wandering off, which I think is what will be the correct phrase. Tomiyasu now coming on to bring on some extra energy in that left-back position, with the speed of course, of Estupinan, Lamptey, and of course João Pedro. So it's probably a very smart move by Mikel Arteta. Here's Estupinan now, corner of his own penalty area down the left-hand side. Estupinan just trying to get away from Martinelli there, and Martinelli is alleged to have fouled him, and it's a free kick. Taken quickly, and the ball is played forward, and all of a sudden Welbeck has got a lot of space in front of him, and Andingra is in the middle, and just for a moment he had so much space, and he instead chooses to go to João Pedro, and João Pedro is dispossessed by Trossard and then fouled. So it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, just on the edge of their own penalty area. But just for a moment, Welbeck had a lot of space in front of him, with Andingra in the middle. An early ball might have had Arsenal in trouble. As it stands, it still stays at 2-0 with 17 minutes to go. I will have to pick a player of the match in about 15 minutes' time. The ball is played long by David Raya. It's flicked on by Kai Havertz and goes through to Bart Verbruggen, who releases it to Jan-Paul van Hecke, who plays it across to Lewis Dunk. Dunk gives it back to Verbruggen, and he gives it to Gross. Van Hecke. And coming forward now is Andingra. And Andingra now. Oh, he's just dispossessed that time. And challenges the ball's won back by Arsenal and cleared away by Takahiro Tomiyasu over on that far side, just in that left-back position. And it's going to be a throw-in to Brighton as they are readying another substitute. Not quite sure who that was. I just caught a glimpse of it in the corner of my eye. It's Lewis Dunk now. He gives the ball to Van Hecke. Van Hecke plays it over the halfway line to João Pedro, but he's won back by Jorginho. Gives it to Odegaard, who drops it back to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu gives it to Gabriel, and Gabriel launches it into the right-hand half of the field, but it really only gives the ball back to Van Hecke. And Van Hecke has the ball now. As time ticking down. As it's Lewis Dunk now, just inside his own half of the field. Dunk plays the ball forward to Welbeck. Welbeck drops it back to Dunk. And Dunk plays the ball long, and chasing this one is Andingra. And Ben White is over with him. Andingra beats Ben White. Can he get the cross in? Holds the ball up to Andingra as Ben White making his way back. They've got 2 men on him, on Andingra, as well as Ben White. There's also Martinelli. He gives the ball to Estupinan. Estupinan back to Baleba. Baleba to Van Hecke. Van Hecke's got Lamptey on the far side. Van Hecke gives the ball to Estupinan. Estupinan swings the ball in, but coming to meet it almost level with a penalty spot is David Raya. He plucks the ball out the air and releases it quickly, and he was actually looking for Leandro Trossard, I think, and we're going to get our first yellow card of the game. And let's just take a look at this one again. It's cleared downfield, and yes, he was tugged. It might be, I'm just trying to see who that is down there right now. It might actually be Havertz, but the yellow card has been issued to Baleba, the first one of the game, as Brighton readying another substitution. See who's coming off here. Let's have a look here. So Welbeck has come off, and coming on is Fati. So Welbeck is off. Only 6 minutes, and Fati is the one coming on as Arsenal coming forward now. And it's ball is played there to, it's a good challenge by Bart Verbruggen, as racing in there was Takahiro Tomiyasu to try to catch the Arsenal goalkeeper out. He has it back now, does Verbruggen, and it's given to Van Hecke, and back to the goalkeeper Verbruggen. So the substitute Fati is on the field. He's wearing number 31, if you're following along with the pictures, as Bart Verbruggen now has the ball at his feet, and he gives it to Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk just does a quick 1-2 there, and it's now picked up by Fati, and he gives the ball to Andingra. Andingra down the left, plays the ball in the middle there to Pascal Gross, back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke now over the halfway line, gives it to Fati again, and it's Van Hecke, and his pass is deflected, and it lands at the feet of Saliba, and cleared away by Ben White into the Brighton half of the field, but Ben White is alleged to have been fouled. It looks like he was caught by one of the Brighton players who is also down. I'm just going to try and take a look at who that was. It is Buonetti with the late challenge, and also the studs as well. He got caught by the studs by Ben White, so that would have been quite painful for both parties. But it will be a free kick to Arsenal. And as we look at the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, what a job he's done. I think from Arsenal's perspective, he wasn't everybody's favourite to take over, and some have criticised him during his tenure, but in the last 2 years, boy, has he turned into one of the premier managers in the world. Here is Declan Rice. Declan Rice plays the ball down the left to Leandro Trossard. Trossard just trying to get away from Buonetti. The ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Brighton. And Buonetti just leaves it for Tariq Lamptey. And Lamptey just looking for options available, and he eventually finds João Pedro. Pedro knocks it back to Van Hecke, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. Verbruggen releases it to Lewis Dunk. It's now Estupinan, midway inside his own half of the field, down the left-hand side. Gross gives the ball there to Lewis Dunk, who releases it then to Fati, and Brighton keep the ball. They give it to Andingra, and Andingra tries to find Fati, who goes down under the challenge of William Saliba, and Saliba is shown Arsenal's first yellow card of the game on 78 minutes. It was looking to be taken quickly, in fact, but the referee wouldn't allow that. And we've got 2 players in the book, Baleba for Brighton and Saliba for Arsenal, as the free kick is going to be taken down the left-hand side, just about, I'd say about 25 yards out, and it's going to be swung in here. Just going to see who's behind this free kick. Yes, it's Estupinan. Estupinan swings the ball in, and it's just headed out. Really there, well, I think that was, I'm not quite sure who got on the end. That might have been Declan Rice. Here is Andingra down the left. Andingra, well, he's dispossessed by Kai Havertz, and now Arsenal can move forward. Odegaard gives the ball there to Jorginho, but it's a poor pass, and Jorginho is dispossessed. And here's Buonanetti. Buonanetti, the substitute, turned inside 2 Arsenal players, and he's giving it to Fati, edge of the area. Good ball there to Andingra. Andingra goes down under the challenge, but the play goes on, and looking to release the ball there was Gabriel, but he only finds a Brighton player, Estupinan, as we have 10 minutes left to go at the Amex, and it's still 2-0 to Arsenal. As here's João Pedro, plays the ball forward to Fati. Fati lifts the ball into the penalty area. It's chested down by Gross, looking for Pedro. It breaks loose to Andingra. Andingra tries to get the crossing from the left-hand side, and Martinelli gets on the end of that and puts that behind for a corner. As we look at that challenge again on Andingra by Declan Rice, I just wonder whether he catches him there. It goes down to Andingra. There's no further check by VAR, so it's going to be a corner for Brighton down the left. And it's swung in by Pascal Gross and headed out of play by Kai Havertz. It's going to be a throw-in down the left-hand side, level with the Arsenal penalty area, to be taken by Pascal Gross, and he gives the ball there to Estupinan. And Estupinan trying to find the ball back to Pascal Gross, but good interception that time by Ben White, and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in. And, Arsenal looking more and more likely that they are going to top the league tonight. And a throw-in is to be taken here by Declan Rice. He takes it quickly, and it's cleared up into the air by Jorginho. There's surely a foul by Kai Havertz there by Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk is complaining, but I think he did actually pull Havertz down there. And it's going to be a free kick right by the touchline, just inside the Brighton half on the right-hand side. Odegaard is standing over it, and to be honest with you, I can just kind of see he's moving the ball further towards the middle, but it's just inside the Brighton half, and it's launched forward now, looking for Martinelli. A good header by Estupinan, and cleared away, but only as far as Jorginho. Jorginho to Ben White, who plays it off on Dingra. It's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. It's almost level with the Brighton penalty area down the right-hand side, and it's Ben White. It throws the ball long, and he's looking for Kai Havertz, who heads it down there for Jorginho. Jorginho lifts it through to Martinelli, but that's good defending by Dunk, who just gets in front of Martinelli and shields the ball back to Bart Verbruggen in the Brighton goal. And it is still Brighton 0, Arsenal 2, and we have 7 minutes left to play in this game. I can't imagine there being too much stoppage time at the end of this game. The second half has flowed fairly evenly, and here's Estupinan to João Pedro. Pedro just trying to get away there from Declan Rice. It's a good challenge by Rice, and the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Brighton, which is taken by Estupinan. Estupinan throws it to Dunk, who gives it to Gross. Gross gives it back there to Estupinan. Estupinan tries to find João Pedro, put João Pedro in a bit of trouble there. Gross. And here's Dunk. Lewis Dunk just inside the Arsenal half of the field in the middle. And it's now with Gross again. Gross gives it to Estupinan. Estupinan back to Gross. Gross launches the ball forward looking for Fati, but he slips on the wet surface. Brighton have won the ball back though. And it's Estupinan again. Estupinan, got options down the left-hand side here in Andingra. Andingra picks up the ball, and it's dropped back there to Lewis Dunk. And it's patient build-up by Brighton. One goal could really change this match. Van Hecke plays the ball there to João Pedro, swings the ball in. It's kept in by Andingra very, very well. But it only falls as far really as Saliba, who clears the ball all the way down into the other half of the field, and it's picked up by Dunk, who gives it to Van Hecke. Van Hecke now, Brighton moving forward quickly, and it's now picked up that time by Dunk. Dunk gives the ball there to Estupinan to Andingra down the left. That's a good challenge by Martinelli. And out of play. And the throw-in is taken quickly. And the ball is long, and it just goes all the way into the Brighton half of the field, and picked up by Lewis Dunk. And here is Estupinan. Estupinan just gives the ball across there to Fati, and it's now with Gross. Gross gives the ball over to Lamptey, and it's picked up here now by Dunk. Dunk looking for options available. Oh, almost dispossessed. He was dispossessed, and now Arsenal are away. It's 1-on-1, and Brighton has been caught out here. Will they be punished? They will! And it is Leandro Trossard. It's 3-0 to the Arsenal with 5 minutes to go, as Brighton really caught out there. And Trossard is the goal scorer, the substitute on 86 minutes. And that was a dreadful error by the Brighton. Well, they were all in the Brighton half, and they were caught out, really. And first of all, Lewis Dunk's pass here, and the poor control by Gross, and that led to the breakaway by Leandro Trossard, who just chipped it over Bart Verbruggen. And you can see here, Pascal Gross's giveaway landed to his compatriot Kai Havertz, and he set off Trossard, who just lifted it over the goalkeeper and into the net, as Brighton punished and caught out there. It's 3-0, and now for sure Arsenal will top the Premier League tonight. And I'm just going to hand my player of the match to my producer Ross, who was kindly offered to produce today. And I will be announcing the player of the match in about 1.5 minutes time here. Here's Van Hecker, and he gives the ball to Dunk, as Arsenal 3-0 here, showing what a dominant statement they have made today. It could so very well have been more, in fairness. And here is Fati for Brighton. Oh, he's fouled there by Jorginho, surely. And we'll give our player of the match at the next stoppage in play. Here's João Pedro. And it's picked up here by Pedro again. Pedro is dispossessed, though, by Declan Rice. And he gives the ball there to Jorginho. And now Declan Rice is away. It's 4-on-3 if Arsenal can hurry. Here's Declan Rice. He's got options left and right. Right for the shot, and it just whistles wide. Well, he had better options left and right, but he went for the shot. And it just went just wide of Bart Verbruggen's right-hand post, and just whistled away. He was quite unlucky, really. Verbruggen was scrambling to get there. I'm not sure he would have got there. In the end, it goes behind for a goal kick, and we are now going to announce the player of the match. Today's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 29, Kai Havertz. His performance, the assist on the goal itself, he really has been quite brilliant tonight. So today's player of the match, sponsored by the Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 29, Kai Havertz. And with that, him and Odegaard are now being substituted for Fabio Vieira and Eddie Nketiah on 89 minutes. As Vieira and Nketiah are on now for Arsenal, as that is their 5 substitutes used. It's a corner, in fact, so it must have come off a Brighton player, but it's going to be swung in now by Declan Rice, and there's the header! Oh, that's a good save by Bart Verbruggen. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that quickly. And it comes back to Leandro Trossard, as that was nearly 4-0. Bart Verbruggen making the save there. And here's Martinelli now inside the penalty area, left-hand side. Martinelli with a cross, and there's Nketiah who heads it over the crossbar. Well, opportunity for Arsenal again as we go into stoppage time. The header is in fact, just trying to see, it looks like it came off Gabriel with the header there, but it was a good save by Bart Verbruggen. Just not sure how much stoppage time is being played. We've played the 90. Here it comes. 5 minutes stoppage time here at the Amex Stadium as Pascal Gross plays the ball there to... Oh, that's a nice pass there. And a quick 1-2 gives the ball to Andingra. And now Brighton coming down the left-hand side. Andingra slips and it comes off Saliba in the end. He gets a call. But a lot of players have slipped in the second half. Longer stubs at half-time would have perhaps been a better option. And the corner is going to be swung in by Pascal Gross. Down that left-hand side. We are almost finished here. We're only 4 minutes of stoppage time left. Looks like Arsenal are topping the league tonight. Pascal Gross swings a poor corner in and it's headed out by Eddie Nketiah. Really only as far as Estupiñán, back to Pascal Gross, and now Estupiñán. Estupiñán gets across and it's headed away, but only really as far as João Pedro gets a shot. What a superb piece of defending by Gabriel. And, well, he got the end on blocking that and is congratulated almost by the entire 11 of the Arsenal team. João Pedro looked for all intents and purposes like he was going to get that shot on goal, but that is a great piece of defending by Gabriel, and it's going to be a corner for Brighton on the right-hand side this time. It's swung in again by Pascal Gross, headed out there by Ben White. Pascal Gross picks up the ball again, though. And he's just moving towards, he swings the ball in again as he moves towards the middle of the park. And it's now with Fati. Fati drops the ball here to Andingra. Andingra back to Dunk. Back to Andingra again. Tries to get the cross in. And this time it's Takahiro Tomiyasu getting in the way of that. And it's going to be another corner to Brighton as Arsenal fighting to keep this clean sheet and keep that excellent defensive record intact. As Pascal Gross is now going to take this corner. He plays it short to Estupiñán, edge of the area. He tries to cross the ball in. Estupiñán, he deflects off 2 Arsenal players and finally hacked away and picked up by Trossard. Trossard tries to play the ball long, but that is a really good block by Baleba and headed and kept in play that time and goes all the way back to Verbruggen. Van Hecke releases it to Lewis Dunk. There is about 90 seconds left in this game. Here is Andingra. Good challenge by Martinelli. Ball goes out of play, and it's going to be another throw-in for the Brighton and Hove Albion, the Seagulls, just trying to get something out of this game. You have to admire their effort, but they really have been shut down by a fantastic Arsenal defence. And so quick on the counter as well. Here is Dunk. Dunk gives the ball there to Baleba. Baleba drops it back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke back to Dunk. And now the ball is back with Gross, who gives the ball to Estupiñán. Estupiñán under pressure there by Jorginho. And Jorginho goes down under pressure there, and it's going to be a foul. We are inside the last minute of the 5. Russ says the Seagulls have been gunned down by the Gunners, and they have indeed, because this has been a thoroughly professional and impressive performance by Arsenal today. As Buonanetti commits a foul there, and it's a free kick to Arsenal just inside the Brighton half on the left-hand side by the touchline. And, well, let's see if Arsenal could maybe add one more to round it off as a sort of cherry on the cake, so to speak. Gabriel plays the ball long. The stadium is now almost empty. Most of the Brighton fans have left as it's headed out of play by Van Hecke, and it's going to be a throw-in, as Roberto De Zerbi simply has to submit to the fact that this Arsenal team today have been brilliant. And here's Jorginho. Jorginho down the left-hand side. Oh, he tries to get past Van Hecke, but good defending by the Dutch international. He's clearing, so only finds only finds Fabio Vieira. And the cross coming in this time by Ben White, but it's blocked and cleared away. Vieira wins the ball back, though. Good work by Fabio Vieira, but he's alleged to have committed a foul there. And it's going to be a free kick as we are just about done here, as we have played the 5 minutes. We're going to see another card here. Ben White going into the referee's notebook on 95 minutes. And at 3-0 now, this game, we're just waiting for the referee to blow full time, and there it is. It's full time at the Amex Stadium. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 3. Second half goals on 61 minutes from Kai Havertz, who in turn turned provider to set Leandro Trossard through one-on-one with the Brighton goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen, who just lifted it over the goal to make it 3-0. Arsenal go top of the league tonight, and the pressure is back on Liverpool, who must travel to Old Trafford tomorrow to try to win that game. But full time here, it's 3-0, and I want to bring in Mike Harneman. Mike, that really was a very impressive Arsenal performance today.
Yeah, it was. I thought, particularly the second half, went 1-0 up, obviously, in the first half with the Saka penalty, and then the second half there, I thought we, I think I said it at half time, to be honest, that I thought we'd go on and get a couple of goals if we carried on how we were playing. And to be honest, that's what's happened with the 2 goals in the second half there, the one for Havertz and the one for Trossard right at the end, yeah.
Just switching up, Brighton did offer some resistance, especially when the score was 2-0. And Arsenal were put under some pressure for a considerable amount of time. How well do you think Arsenal handled that defensively? Because a lot of the critics that Arsenal get is that their defence is just never put under any pressure because of how good they are going forward. So how do you think Arsenal's defence coped today?
I think the defence have stood up to it very, very well again, as it's been the case for a number of weeks now. I think that this Arsenal backline are really thriving at the moment, and once again, that's been just kind of continued on from the last couple of games and the last few months, really. As you see the reaction there of Gabriel absolutely loving that, getting another clean sheet again, and Mikel Arteta, very kind of keen to go over to those Arsenal fans as well and have everybody together. He's got a big hug there with Saliba as well, and Saliba, Gabriel, once again they've been sensational, and as a lot of people say, success can be based on defence as much as it can attack, and this Arsenal defence in the last couple of months have been nothing short of superb.
Well, they do have the best defence in the league, conceded the least amount of goals. They are, I think, the only team now that are still below a goal a game average, which is extremely impressive. Today they have been brilliant. So with Liverpool and Manchester United tomorrow, as this directly affects Arsenal, Mike, can I get a prediction from you from tomorrow's game?
Obviously they've already beaten Liverpool in the FA Cup earlier this season, so anything's possible. Liverpool will fancy their chances though as well, but yeah, I'd love to say United can get another win again. So hopefully they'll do what they've done in the FA Cup and beat them again. So yeah, I think there'll be goals in there. I'm going to go 3-2 Man United.
Okay, that's a brave prediction, but we'll take that one, Mike. And I want to thank you very much for your input today. As usual, it's very much appreciated. Let's just take a look at some of the scores in the Premier League today. And we'll start with the morning game. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 4. Aston Villa 3, Brentford 3. Everton 1, Burnley 0. Burnley reduced to 10 men again. I think they now have 6 yellow cards this season, which is almost a Premier League record. Fulham 0, Newcastle United 1. Luton Town 2, Bournemouth 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, West Ham United 2. Of course, we've just seen Brighton 0, Arsenal 3. In the Sky Bet Championship today, we'll just go through some of those results for you today. Starting with Norwich 1, Ipswich 0 in the East Anglian Derby. Blackburn Rovers 0, Southampton 0. Cardiff City 1, Hull City 3. Coventry City 2, Leeds 1, a desperately missed opportunity for Leeds United to perhaps get some daylight between them and Ipswich. Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0. Leicester City 2, Birmingham 1. Middlesbrough 2, Swansea 0. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Stoke City 2, West Brom 2. And Sunderland 0, Bristol City 0, and Watford 0, Preston North End 0. In League 1 today, Blackpool 1, Cambridge 0. Bristol Rovers 0, Bolton Wanderers 2. Burton Albion 0, Oxford United 4. Charlton Athletic 2, Barnsley 1. Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. Sorry, Mike. Leyton Orient 3, Cheltenham 1. Northampton 2, Carlisle United 0. Portsmouth 3, Shrewsbury 1. Reading 1, Lincoln City 1. And Wigan Athletic 0, Port Vale 0. And in League 2 today, Accrington Stanley 0, Crewe Alexandra 0. AFC Wimbledon 1, Salford 0. Barrow 0, Swindon Town 2. Bradford City 1, Gillingham 0. United 1, Wrexham 2. Forest Green Rovers 0, MK Dons 2. Grimsby Town 1, Newport County 0. Mansfield Town 1, Crawley Town 4. Morecambe 0, Doncaster Rovers 3. And Notts County 3, Harrogate 0. Sutton 1, Stockport County 3. And Tranmere Rovers 1, Walsall 3. So, just to give you some idea about what's coming up on the channel, tomorrow we have Manchester United versus Liverpool for you. Russ Vernon is going to be the commentator for that one. I will be as co-com. Later in the evening at 6:30 UK time, we have Tottenham Hotspur versus Nottingham Forest. I will be commentating on that one. You can join me for that one. And so for the time being, top of the table, 6 p.m. UK actually for the Spurs and the Spurs and Nottingham Forest game. 6 p.m. UK for that one. Thanks for the correction, Russ. So for the time being, we're going to say bye for now. Arsenal top the table tonight.